10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Manchester
1,
United have
0.
reached the promised land.
Yes, good morning, everybody. It's 9:33, bang on time. 3 minutes late, depends if you're an OG of the channel or not. But how are you all doing? I'm Sam. This is United People's TV. We're live and direct every single morning with the latest news, and we can genuinely, and I mean this, we can actually talk about football. International football is so boring. It really, it doesn't matter how much they try and sex it up or hype it up. It's boring. It really is. But now we can talk about Premier League football. Manchester United back in action on Sunday for nearly the first time in a month. I would think it was the 4th of September where we beat Arsenal 3-1 at Old Trafford. And by the time we play City on Sunday, it'll be the 2nd of October. And it's a big game. I mean, it's really unfortunate for United that all of this has happened when we were banging form. Momentum, that's kind of disappeared a little bit, but the confidence still has to be there. And our players have delivered on the international break. I tell you what, Eriksen banging form, Varane banging form, no injuries, looking good. We'll speak about all of that. We'll speak about everything. We'll speak about Ten Hag's plans and preps. We'll preview some of the content that's going to be coming out over the next 2 or 3 days. Let me see who's down here in the comments. We've got Rob. How you doing, buddy? We've got Akil. We've got Rothan. We've got Carl watching from New Zealand. Morning to you, mate. Or was it evening? Evening. Moses, John, Hanish, Josh. I can see Vicky, Klein, and Keydams, Charlie Hughes, Carl Baldwin over on Facebook, and Stephen Lawrence on Facebook with Ian Cartwright too. Good morning to all of you. How excited are you to get football back? I mean, we're going to go from not watching United for a few weeks to United every 3 days. Like, it's going to go crazy. October was always the acid test for this Manchester United squad. We've got 9 games in a calendar month. It's bonkers. It is bonkers. And we've seen against Real Sociedad at home. Don't think Erik Ten Hag can truly trust this squad just yet. But we're going to have to find out what happens next because this squad has got to deliver. Somebody just sent a super chat there. Sorry, I got a message on good morning to you, Bruce. Didn't mean to click your name, but good morning to you. Reckless saying, look, good morning, 1:35 a.m. Get to bed, my man. You are being reckless. But look, I'm dead excited for it. I'm excited for it. I don't know what to expect from the game against City. I know it's going to be a tough game. 1 sec there. That's on the camera. That's better. Oh, got away. Stupid thing. There we go. Sorry. The light was coming through the curtain. It's a nice day outside. Went for a walk this morning. One thing I want to say before we get started on this show today is this. I want to say a big thank you to everybody for the reaction to the podcast with the 1958. I spoke about it in depth yesterday, and the 1958 tweeted this out last night. And I want to thank them for trusting United People's TV to be the platform they chose. They could have gone anywhere. The 1958 could have had an interview with Sky Sports if they wanted to, probably. They chose United People's TV because they trusted the community that we've got here. And I say that, don't underestimate the integrity of this community. It really is genuinely there. And it's only getting bigger and better. We had our first community event last week. I'm going to be doing the last video on that either today or tomorrow. You can see where I finish in that poker tournament. But literally, 1,100 of us were in that tournament. It's amazing. And I'm looking forward to doing more things like that. Someone suggested a FIFA tournament. If you've got any ideas for good things we can do as a community, you let me know and you can slide into my DMs. Gavin, quite a few people asked me this, saying, how do you get hold of the picture? Get into my DMs on Instagram or Twitter, and I'll give you the link. It's to Stanley Chow. And we've got a discount code here at United People's TV. For those who don't know, Stanley Chow is a Manchester-based artist, and that's why I've sort of supported his work there, and will continue to do so. Mate, Stu Backer down there, random comment. Pro Evo, back in the day, Pro Evo 3. It's either Pro Evo 3 or Pro Evo 6 was my favorite ever football game. That was before, not the invention of online gaming, but from a console perspective. At that point, it was all about Master League, career mode. But anyway, you get me distracted here. Thank you very much to 1958. And I hope that at some point in the future, we get to have another conversation. But a full attention now. Oh, look at that. We've got Chia watching from Cambodia. Good morning to you. And look, Penfo watching from Malawi, all around the world. Provo 6 was awesome. It was. I actually, Josh, you're distracting me here, people. We're trying to talk about football. We're trying to talk about excellent games. ISS 64. Oh, sick. Anyway, this man. Erik ten Hag has been using these 2 weeks to meticulously plan for what is coming on Sunday. As I said, it's a real shame that this massive break happened when it happened, because we had beaten Liverpool, we had beaten Southampton, we had beaten Leicester, and we had beaten Arsenal. We were 4 games. I think we are the informed team in the Premier League. We're now going up against City. Now, I've seen quite a lot of people trying to overhype this game, in my opinion, trying to overhype it, trying to say that this is the marker, this is where we can really see whether we can test Ten Hag. It's like, no, it's fucking not. City are streets ahead of us. It's not even a comparison. And it hurts me to say that, but these are just the facts, the absolute facts in front of us. I think the tests for United this season are Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Spurs. We've beaten Liverpool. I don't care if it's it was a week in Liverpool. Fuck it, you play Liverpool twice in the Premier League season, and we've beaten them. Boom. All right, 1 done. Let's see what happens at Anfield. And Arsenal, top of the table. They came and we beat them. And now we've got City. But for me, City is not going to be the marker. I think City is where I've said this, and I'm genuinely, all I'm looking for as a United fan, and you might disagree with this, right? All I'm looking for on Sunday is a genuinely competitive performance from the first minute to the last minute from Manchester United. We'll get to see how far we've come on as a team. We'll get to see how far we've come on in terms of playing Ten Hag's football. We're nowhere near there yet. We still can't really play out from the back with the ball. Ten Hag's turned to a pragmatic approach because he tried it in the first 2 games and the players were so shit at playing out from the back with the ball, kept inviting pressure on themselves, that we lost against Brighton and Brentford. He's like, you know what? This can't continue. This is unsustainable. Let me switch to being more pragmatic. And then across the course of the season, when the players get more comfortable with the system, then we start to employ it. What do you think about that on Sunday? How do you expect United to play? I'll be interested to see what you think in the comments below. And you're saying, look, I disagree. It's a shame. It's more time that Ten Hag's had to drill the players, and surely that's a good thing. Yeah, you can look at it from that angle if you want to. But I think we know that momentum and form and confidence, they all sort of go hand in hand. And United had momentum. We had confidence. We had form. I don't think we've got momentum anymore. I imagine the confidence is still there. That shouldn't really change. And I suppose the form technically hasn't changed, but I suppose it's different. It's different in this. Luca, you're saying stay hopeful. I'm not going into this game expecting us to get absolutely pumped. But Paul, I think that's completely and utterly, that's the thing I would push really hard here. It's expectation management. It's a very boring way to describe it, but it's a very correct way to describe it. Look, Luke, Huge can go, oh yeah, Solskjaer. Yeah, Solskjaer had Guardiola's number. He did. But what happened? Solskjaer got fucking sacked off and Guardiola won the league. I think for Ten Hag, this game will probably mean a little bit more than I think you might realise, because of how important Guardiola was in the formative years of Ten Hag. Ten Hag was, I think, manager of Go Ahead Eagles before he decided to take a step away from being a manager. And then he went down, I think he started coaching the youth team, where he went down a couple of notches simply to go and work with Guardiola at Bayern Munich. And he learned by him. If you watched, I remember doing all those, it reminds me, all those videos I did when we were looking at managers, the sort of the philosophy videos on Rangnick, and I did one on Ten Hag when he came in. And Guardiola, he credits Guardiola and Cruyff for a sort of 2 versions of football that he's based a lot of his own football on, in what he's learned. He coached at Bayern second team. That was it. Josh, there was a question up there that I wanted to read out. if we do beat City, where should we have our expectations for the rest of the season? I think that's a really good comment there. B4C, you've sent in a super chat there, buddy, but you haven't written anything. Back to that there. I don't think it changes the expectations of this season. Whether you're vocal about it or not, your expectation or hope for this Manchester United team is to get inside that top 4, right? That's the hope and the expectation of this year. If we get inside the top 4, it's going to be considered a successful season, right? Zane, you let me know where you're watching from, buddy. But whether or not we beat City, top 4 is our goal. It's not our ambition. It's never going to be the ambition of Manchester United. But in terms of this as a process, and it is a fucking process, right? And that's going back to what was said there about expectations X, Y, Z. Top 4 for United this year is massive. Getting into the Champions League next year is crucial. 1 year without Champions League football, it might come as a little bit of a blessing to Ten Hag. There's less pressure, there's less laser focus, and I'll be honest, if we went into this Champions League this year, we would probably be getting steamrolled by a couple of big teams. Let's see what goes on Sunday, but I think for Ten Hag, he would be meticulously, I mean, he's known as a meticulous planner anyway, but he will be meticulously planning even more so for this game against Guardiola, against his former boss, because it's so important to him. Zalani with a question there. Keep firing in your questions, ladies and gents. I'll try and answer as many as I can, as I always do. Do you think Rashford and Martial will be fit for Sunday? Ronaldo's out of form. I think Rashford will be fit to start, and I hope that Martial's back in, but I can't imagine. I can't imagine that Ten Hag's going to start Martial for the first game of the season away at City. I don't think so. I think Rashford has contributed directly to 50% of the goals we've scored in the Premier League this year, either with a goal or an assist. Rashford, I think, will be fit, and I hope he will be fit. Jordan, morning, Sam, and everyone. What do you think the chance of Jude coming here? I personally think he'll go City or Liverpool. Jordan, we'll save that conversation for towards the end of the show. After Laurie Whitwell commented saying, look, Man United are expected to go in on him. We spoke about Jude Bellingham yesterday, and the consensus here in the comments, I believe, was the fact that most people thought that he was going to go Real Madrid. Sigmund, I see you there. Sigmund's been hiding away with work, but he's there gifting 5 memberships. Welcome back, Santa Claus. Santa Sigmund? Santa Judge? Claus Judge? Santa Sigmund. We'll go with that. But look, if we're talking about battles, if we're talking, and that's the word I want to use to sort of prelude this game, is the word battle. And if we're looking at the battles on the pitch, I'm going to have a separate video out today just on this because I'm fascinated by it. This could be, and probably is, let's be honest, this probably is going to be where the game is won or lost. Erling Haaland he's a freak. And I don't mean that in a horrible way. It's just the numbers that he's putting in, the power of him, the whole combination of Erling Haaland is terrifying. And he's been eating the Premier League he's just been eating it up. But Martinez, right? Going down there, Chetan saying that why not Varane against Haaland? Because it won't be Varane against Haaland. Martinez, well, maybe Man City will target Varane with Haaland and it'll be down to him. And that could be a different conversation. But in my opinion, I think here, Martinez against Haaland. Of course, we could hark back to the fact that Martinez has already met Haaland in a competitive game in the Champions League when Ajax played Dortmund. And I believe it was away from home as well? I think it was away from home when they won 4-0. It's going to be big. And I think this is a very good point. And this is the danger when you play a team who is as good as Man City. If you go in with your hyper focus on how you stop one individual, then you're not going to stop Mahrez. You're not going to stop De Bruyne. You're not going to stop Phil Foden. You're not going to stop the 4, 5, 6 other players who could absolutely dominate. And that's completely true. But Erling Haaland and Martinez, I'm going to do a tactical sort of analysis. I'm going to look at how Martinez handled Haaland back in that game a while ago, and what we can take from that going into this game, because there will be battles all over the pitch. Scott McTominay, the form that he's in, and the sort of game that it's going to be, he's going to have a cracking game too. Blah, you can go everywhere, really. Christian Eriksen, what's he going to do playmaking from deep? We don't particularly know. Joseph, what are you doing down there, my friend? There's a comment there from you. Let me read your comment out first, because it's not come up on here, but it's come up on my phone. You're saying, if United were to beat City, it will be the first time in years that we have defeated 3 of the top 6. Our morale will go through the roof, and we'll just start to reclaim that fear factor. I would have to say, surely that fear factor is starting to come back a little bit again. It has to come back a little bit. It's especially at home. After those games against Liverpool and Arsenal, the markers are there for what's coming next. And Joseph, absolute legend, dropping 10 memberships into the comments. Honestly, I think it feels like it's a daily thing now. You're all so damn generous. It's amazing. The community is genuinely a community. So big up to all of you. But yeah, I'm going to be doing my video today on Martinez versus Haaland. I think it's going to be good. There's content coming out. We don't have to talk about Harry Maguire anymore. Come on. Jeez, I'm bored of that conversation. But video today is going to be on Martinez and Haaland. I personally think it's the biggest and most interesting battle, given how good Haaland has been and given how good Martinez has been. Secondly, I'm going to do my starting 11 prediction. That's going to go out tomorrow. Thirdly, I'm going to be putting out, hopefully, I haven't quite done this yet, but I think I'm going to put out a tactical video on Guardiola versus Ten Hag, looking at the starting 11s of the two teams, the form of the two teams going into it, and how they can sort of, where the weaknesses of the two teams would lie, if there are weaknesses in the City team. Gangshi, mate. Honestly, I'm going to have to do an intervention soon and just take your card away from you. Gangshi down there, dropping 10 memberships. Who's been gifted the memberships? Oh, actually, look, if I keep my phone open, I can see who's got them. Phil Moore Sloth, you've got one. Andrew Miller Sidan. Joshua Commander, look at that. Sweet name. Rob Piper, you've been gifted a membership as well. So many of you. Welcome aboard. Honestly, anybody who does keep getting memberships, first things first to remember, someone keeps reminding me of this, it's only a gifted membership for 1 month. Please consider renewing. Please become part of the community after you've sort of had your foot in the door. And let me drop the link to the community in the comments, right? It's on Telegram. It's free to join. Go there. Yes, Gangshi. You must have the best secret card in the entire world. Red Devils, what you're saying down there. Sneaky chance of Fred or Casemiro taking over as a starter in this game. Big up. Also discussing, oh man, dividends bastards. We'll speak about the tactics a little bit later on. If I'm being completely honest, I would not really expect too much in terms of changes inside that starting 11. Injuries have been good, or the lack of injuries have been good during the international break, and the form is there. I don't think that Ten Hag will change too much. Casemiro had a good international break, though, and we're going to move on to that next. Jordan Massey saying, look, I want to see Martinez do a keen on Haaland. Something that I want to quickly say about that, because obviously quite a lot of people have been saying that sort of thing. Keane didn't end Haaland's career. And I'm sure you've all seen the tackle. You've all seen the picture of Roy Keane standing over Alf-Inge Haaland after he absolutely walloped him with one of the worst tackles you've ever seen. It was revenge from Roy Keane because about, 10, 11 months earlier, Roy Keane went down against City. It looked pretty innocuous, I think, if I can remember correctly. And Roy Keane done his ligaments and he was out for like 9 months. And at that point, Alf-Inge stood over him and told him to get up. And Roy Keane never forgot that moment. So Roy Keane made sure that he got his revenge the next game. But fucking Haaland played the next game. He played the next game for Denmark, or Norway as well. He didn't end his career. He was just a bang average footballer that ended his own career. Dominic, let me know where you're watching from, buddy. But yeah, just wanted to say that. That was it. Went down against Leeds. That was it. Went down against Leeds. I couldn't remember who it was. But yeah. Shogun, you're asking down there, there's a podcast on YouTube. The podcast wouldn't suit YouTube. It's 1 hour and 40. There's no video. It's on Spotify. Okay. So it's on everywhere, really. Let me drop a link down it. If you listen to your podcast on Apple, on Spotify, on anywhere, look, just pop it on, get in the kitchen, cook a meal, have it on in the background. It's the sort that's where it's best learned. But yeah, You're right. Haaland was at Leeds, not City. You're right. My bad. I forgot. Let me off. But look, if we're gonna speak about, we're speaking about the game coming up, and I'm excited for it. But the international break, I tell you what, the international break, as far as international breaks go, it served United pretty well. We all get a bit of a fear going into the international break because typically we get injuries, right? But I tell you what, our players who were in form going into the international break absolutely continued their form. Denmark's manager was speaking about Christian Eriksen. This is what he said. He said, look, he's so clear about everything he does on a football field. That man can't be stressed on a football pitch. He's so calm, so smart, and plays with such energy. It really is a pleasure to experience. And the more you read about Eriksen's return, the more you hear from players who are playing with him or managers who are managing him, and the more you watch him, Eriksen, I've said this, man, Eriksen, I think he feels like he's been reborn. It feels like he knows he's been given a second opportunity and he doesn't want to let it go. And he wants to absolutely maximize it. And United are lucky to have him with this sort of mindset and with the quality that he's got. Because let's be honest, if we do come away from City with the result, this man's going to be a key part of it. An absolutely crucial part of it. We talk about the Martinez and the Haaland battle. If there's one word we need in a game like this, and that is control. It is control, because City will have so much of the ball. And what United can't afford to do is just sit there in a deep back four, defend properly, but then just hoof it. And then just invite City back on us, because you can't really sustain that. You do that for a 90-minute period, City will probably score. Odds on. So United have to somehow try and control possession a little bit more. And that's where Christian Eriksen really, really is going to step in to sort of find those passes, to try and calm it down, to be that person who could receive the ball in tight situations and not be terrified of it, right? So I can't wait to see what is going there. Mate, another fucking 10. Honestly, you're making me run out of things to say. Alex, you're dropping 10 in as well. It really is raining. I'll tell you what, look, man, one absolute lad. Thank you very much down there, Alex. And let me see who was lucky enough to get one down there in the comments. Let's have a look. We've got Shogun, you've got one. Mr. Cooper, you've got one. Suman, you've got one. James Karanja, Yunesh, Darij, Jonathan Story, Jeff Jumba. Look at that, Jeff Jumba, I like that name. Sheila as well. All of you been gifted one. It is a party going on. I'll tell you what, when we actually have a party at some point, whether it's on the bus with Barry after the Glazers go, there's got to be some sort of United People's party. United People's TV party at some point. That'd be a banger. Be an absolute banger. But Eriksen, yeah, man, I'm just looking forward to talking about actual genuine football again. Oh, fucking hell, there's another 5. Well, who's this from? Zane, you're dropping in 5 as well. It is an absolute party down in the comments here this morning. It is a party. Ian, you're over there saying, look, is that Bruno behind your head? There he is. There's a mascot, the unofficial mascot of United People's TV. And there's me as a child holding a football. Random photo. I don't know why I've left it there, but I have left it there. That is Bruno behind my head. And Bruno, he's been cracking form as well. Let's move on, though, because I think this is an interesting conversation that we should have, right? Absolutely none of us expected Scott McTominay to play how he's been playing. He's been phenomenal. He really, really has. Blown expectations out of the water. We all expected Casemiro to come in and just dominate and have that position for himself. But McTominay's kept him out. Vicky, good suggestion there, say a little Christmas party. We'll keep that's a good idea. We'll put that one down. There's a couple of comments here from members who have been at Stephen. You've been here for 15 months. You're saying, with Varane, Martinez, Eriksen, and Scott, we have players in top shape for Sunday. This combined with the game idea of Ten Hag, and let's party. I hope so. And Peter, you're saying good morning to you. Good morning to you as well, my friend. But look, Casemiro had a good game for Brazil against Tunisia. What's your take on Casemiro so far this season? Let's be completely honest. It's been underwhelming, right? It's completely fair to describe his performances so far as underwhelming. No one's writing him off, because why the hell are you going to write off Casemiro? He's quite literally one of the best defending midfielders in world football. But he has been somewhat underwhelming. Has it surprised you? Is it just him sort of is it him taking time to adapt from a Real Madrid system that was sort of just in his subconscious to sort of getting used to working under Erik ten Hag? What's your take on Casemiro? And you're saying, look, McTominay's really benefited from the... I think it's a very, very good comment there. McTominay knows exactly what... And everybody, every single one of these players is benefiting from this, and clarity on roles. It's not a case of pick and mix, like 60% here and 30% there, maybe 10%. It's like 100% in a certain role. McTominay knows what he's doing. Everybody seems to know what they're doing, and especially Bruno. If we're talking about players that have benefited from that simplification, probably argue Bruno even more so. And the ceiling of Bruno is much, much higher than Scott McTominay, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. It's just completely true. Mate, there's another 10. Dominic, you've dropped in 10 as well. Who's down here getting gifted from Dominic? Let me read these ones out. I've just realized I should probably have this open as well, because there's a lot that I can get on my phone that I can't get on screen here. Michael, George, Kevin, you've got one. Shafiq, Kenyon, you've got one as well. Winning 11, you've just been given one, cheeky. Amy, no, you're not you, sorry. Cameron Van Herden. That is a wicked Dutch name. Woo. Man, stop it, people. Stop it, people. I'm running out of things to say. It's amazing. But yeah, look, Alex, you're saying, look, I feel like Casemiro just needs to get used to the pace and the physicality of the Premier League, get used to the modified role in the new system. He'll get lots of game time in November. And Ian, you're saying, look, he just needs a time and a run of starts. Lewis, you're saying, look, mate, imagine, of course Casemiro will come in handy. The bloke's just one of the... maybe you can call this a bit of blind naivety, but I have no doubts about Casemiro. I have no doubts that come the end of the season, we're all going to sit here and say, Casemiro was a good signing. I don't think we're going to add him to the flop category. I personally feel that the Real Madrid system was so entrenched in his football that he's just taken a little bit of time to sort of get used to it. He's taken a little bit because players aren't in the same positions that they've always been in before. And I think Casemiro is just getting used to it. I don't think he'll start against City because Scott McTominay, you can say what you want about Scott McTominay, right? And I didn't dismiss him at the start of the season, right? At all. I just said, I felt that Fred could be a better squad player overall for Manchester United than McTominay could. But McTominay has just absolutely blown us all away. And it's not just a flash in the pan game. It feels like McTominay has just taken a turn down a different path and has got laser focus now. Because as soon as this man came in, Scott McTominay realised, if I do not back up my ideas, I'm a goner. There's no way that I'm going to be playing for Manchester United anymore. And I think he realised that. I think that really sort of, that clicked. And he's just been listening to everything that Ten Hag has wanted him to do and delivered. He's absolutely delivered. Yeah, Carl, you're right down there. Look, it's almost like he's been coached properly. I remember that. Do you remember one of the first videos that I did in the preseason series that was following Ten Hag's drills and training and stuff like that? And McTominay, he was in the middle of it. It was one of the first videos of it. And everybody was like, look how shit McTominay is. Oh my God, what a trash midfielder, X, Y, Z. You're like, where are those people now? As I said, I've only ever had an agenda for Manchester United and what's good for United. And that's been the case. I know I've been accused of it. I've never had agendas against individuals. If it's good for United, I will support a player. If it's bad for United, I will speak out against that player. And that's the only thing that's ever driven me. McTominay, I felt his ceiling was hit. But he's just surprised us all. Kieran, I see you there, buddy. It's really surprised us all. Daisy say, look, he's on his ass yellow, though. So, oh, yeah, it's true, actually enough. He's on foot. McTominay and getting a yellow card is your guaranteed bet in the game at the moment. It really, really is. I don't know what is. McTominay has to rein that in a little bit. I know that enthusiasm and emotion and aggression are key components of what makes a midfielder a battling midfielder. But when you're getting a guaranteed yellow every game between around about the 60 to the 75th minute because you're a little bit reckless, that's not helping you. All right. That's something he's got to learn. He has to learn that. Be clever with the tackles. Don't just be, because he could beat the fuck out of most people. McTominay is an absolute unit. He's like 6'3", built. He just needs to rein it in a little bit. And City, I think, will probably try and get that out of him. Madhouse as well. You're correct saying, look, competition for places. We've seen that with we saw that with Tellez and Luke Shaw. We're now seeing it with Malacia and Shaw. I think Shaw will hopefully be a decent left back for United this season. Hopefully maintain his fitness and give us two different options at left back. But I do think, look, we could probably replace Luke Shaw in the summer, but that's a different conversation further down the line. But McTominay has thrived off the competition there. I don't think there's enough competition up front. Maybe on the right wing there is. Maybe with Anti and Anger, but not particularly. We need more competition in this squad. Absolutely. Joseph, absolute Dom. What are you saying, sir? Casemiro has not really had an opportunity to start a game due to McTominay's great form. I'll be very interested to see how McTominay handles the City press. That's where I think Casemiro's quality will come to the surface. I think that's a very good point. And I think if we're looking at the game against City, I'll be honest, I personally think that McTominay starts that game. But I think we see Casemiro around the 60, 65th minute mark. Those last 20, 25 minutes are where the word control are even more important. That's where United need to get players like Casemiro to come on and do the business. So we could speak about how Casemiro's performance. By the way, did you see that pass from Casemiro? The pass for the pass for the assist was absolutely unreal. Lewis, let me know where you're watching from, buddy. I'll try and give you a shout out. Look, I think he probably will pick up a ban. I imagine McTominay will probably get a yellow card against City. And Jason, you're saying, look, McTominay's playing good at the moment, but he's one of the reasons we don't score more goals. He's impeccable at breaking up play. I will play Casemiro, and we won't depend only on Eriksen to create. Now, Casemiro, as he showed with that assist yesterday, unbelievable. He has got a passing range. He's certainly got McTominay does have a passing range. He does. But again, going back to what Ant is saying, clarification and simplification of the role. Ten Hag's like, bro, you don't have to look up for that 30, 40-yard diagonal. And he does have that in his locker. I've seen him do it a few times. Just give it to someone else. Just break up the play and give it to someone else. But look, if we're talking about the Brazil team, I think this is a big thing that I think will drive Antony to be even better this season at Manchester United. It was Lucas Paqueta, Richarlison, and Rafinha who started for Brazil yesterday against who was it? Tunisia, I think it was. Fred starting in midfield, Alex Tellez starting left back. They must be desperate. Neymar starting in midfield. Talk about fitting the players in. But Antony is being kept out of the team by Rafinha. He's down here on the bench. Where is he? Here he is there. Number 18. This is going to drive Antony, I think, to work even harder, to really focus. Because if Antony wants to get into that team for the World Cup and have that right wing spot, he's got 12, 13, I think it's 13 games to absolutely crush it. 13 games to crush it. Daisy, yeah, he did. He's saying he came on. Yeah, he did come on, but he didn't start. Antony wants to be starting for Brazil. Hugely important to him. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Antony does over these last 13 games. Everyone's saying that Antony came on. Yeah, he did come on, but Antony doesn't want to be on the bench for Brazil. Antony wants to be starting for Brazil. DigiPro is trying to say, look, what's Fred doing in there? Brazil are unbeaten, I think, in 15 games, and it's their best ever form going into a World Cup. And Fred has played a ton of those games alongside Casemiro. I don't think they've actually lost when they've started I don't think that Fred and Casemiro, when they started in midfield Brazil, like they did yesterday, I don't actually think they've lost a game together. And Brazil look like a very good team as a consequence, right? Chinmay saying, I'm not being able to join the channels. Chinmay, if one of the mods can help him out or help her out, that would be really helpful. But yeah, look, you're talking about competition for places. This is what Luke Shaw said about it. He said, I think Ten Hag, he knows my qualities. He knows what I'm capable of. And we've had chats. It's understandable that, and I even agree, that at the start of the season, I wasn't good enough. And he had to make changes, and I fully accept that. I accepted it. I think Luke Shaw will probably have to enjoy sitting on the bench for a little bit longer. Malacia, the way he's playing and the way he's been part of this new look United team and new look United defence, a massive part of it. Luke Shaw's is going to have to continue sitting and watching because I don't particularly think he's going to get in that team. Mark Davies with an outrageous comment here that I've got to have to pull up and have a conversation about. Anthony will be a flop, a one-trick pony. Everybody, Iron Robin was a one-trick pony, my friend. Was he a flop? No. One-trick pony. Everyone already has him in the bag after watching one game on YouTube. Shame, but how it is. It's incredible that people feel empowered enough to make fucking stupid comments like that. It's crazy. Even members of the channel. I've got to call you out because it's outrageous. Anthony, can't wait to see what he does across the course of the season. I'm excited for it. The sort of player that you need in your team, the match winner, who is capable of just pulling something out of the hat that you know that nobody else is capable of. And in games against City, that's a player that we've massively, massively missed. Even though, look, if you're looking at Solskjaer's record against Guardiola, we've fantastic record, but ultimately it didn't lead to anything. Let's find out what the next thing is. But look, we've spoken about Martinez quite a bit, but how can I not speak about Rafa? That's what I mean. This defense we're looking at. I've done a video on Diogo Dalot earlier this week. We've already had a conversation here about Martinez. I've just mentioned how good Malacia has been. That's 3 of our back 4. Varane looks like Champions League Varane. And we are going to need him and his leadership against City. I imagine if... Oh, maybe they're just... I mean, look, from a physical perspective, Martinez is going to really struggle with aerial balls. Given that Haaland effectively kicked the ceiling to score in the other game, his flexibility and his strength is absolutely outrageous. That's Scott McTominay. That's Rafa Varane. I'm looking forward to seeing here how Varane plays. Right? Piro, you're saying, look, I hope that Varane stays fit for the season. I think... I think... I just hope he stays fit. I really hope he stays fit. That's all I can say. I'm still worried. I'll be honest, I'm worried about Varane. Because the injuries lasted so long and just niggles just kept happening to him. But he started, I think, captained France in their first game in the international break, got a clean sheet, was rested in the second one. Thank you very much, France. And he's now back training. This is a picture from yesterday. Everybody's back in training. Right? There's so many different dynamics and conversations going into a game between United and City, and they're not all just shit for United. I'm not going into this game on Sunday praying that we don't get pumped, which genuinely on my life has been my mentality going into games against Liverpool and City for what feels like maybe like 3-ish years, roughly. Just praying that we don't get pumped. And then sometimes you'd be like, wow, where did that performance come from? A massive surprise. But I'm not going into the game on Sunday just praying that we don't get pumped. I'm hoping that this team can build on what we've already built and build it a little bit higher and take another step in the right direction. If we can somehow come away from this game with a result against City, it'll be fantastic. It really, really would be. And he's saying we need to remember his consistency in Madrid. Yeah, I know. His fitness issues have only been an issue at United. But they have been an issue at United. And they have been a blocker for his progress so far. What he's saying down here, a couple more comments. Stefan, he's saying that Varane will be injured this season is almost as certain as an amen in church. I'm equally as worried about Diogo Dalot being injured, by the way, because we don't have a right-back alternative to him. We have Wan-Bissaka, who I don't particularly think is a right-back alternative to him. Joseph, what are you saying, sir? Will all of the players be back from international duty before the City game? I heard the South American players may struggle to get back. I don't know. The last game, I believe, for the international break was last night. I think so, anyway. Let me check. Let me go and look at the fixtures. I don't think there's any more. You got, yeah, that's it. International break is capiche. So everyone should be on the plane back last night, right? Somebody who wasn't on the plane, let's have a little conversation here. Jadon Sancho has spent 2 weeks in Manchester working on his fitness, working with Erik ten Hag, working with the system. And I hope that he benefits from that. I don't think Jadon Sancho, I still don't particularly think that Jadon Sancho has hit the sort of form that he had during the preseason. I think in the preseason, he looked a little bit sharper. He looked a little bit more dangerous. It's not to say that he's been out of form, because he's not been out of form in any way, shape, or form. But Sancho's capable, I think, of more than what he's shown so far this year. That's probably the best way I would describe it. And at some point, he'll unlock that. Well, he scored a City away last year, didn't he? I think that was one of his first United goals. I'm looking forward to seeing him play. And Daisy, you're down there saying, look, it gives you goosebumps thinking about what Ten Hag is building. Look, yeah, somebody pointed out there, so it looks like the Messiah in that phone. He effectively can be the Messiah for United. That's what we're all hoping. Someone's going to clip that up. Shouldn't have said that. I hope he is. I mean, it all could come crumbling down, but what we've seen so far is extremely, extremely positive. Now, actually, I'll speak about Jude Bellingham in a little tiny bit, but I want to go back to talking about this guy and not Pep Guardiola. I'm just, yeah, this game against City, I'm excited for seeing how we do when we take that next step up. City is a step up from Liverpool, is a step up from Arsenal, is a step up from anything that we've seen or faced this year. City is on the top table of European football, where there's like 3 or 4 or 5 teams. City are up there. Real Madrid are up there. You could probably put Bayern Munich up there, or they're bang out of form in the Bundesliga. There's only a few teams who are up there. And we've coped with everyone so far who's on that second tier. And I'm just excited to see what happens on Sunday. I am. I think it'll be a fascinating battle. I think it'll be a tactical battle where Erik ten Hag won't just be sitting down, won't just be watching the game. He will be able to change the game when it's going on. If there's an opportunity, he'll be able to take it with substitutions. I think he'll be meticulous like that, and he'll be reactive like that. And that's important in big games like this, because something could happen. There could be a red card. There could be a big injury. There could be something that changes the course of the game during the game that you can't really prepare for in the build-up to it. But I would trust Ten Hag to be able to adapt to that during the game. Average YouTuber, that's basically me. Sancho will benefit from a run of 15, 20 games. Ole didn't do that, which has made his progress slow. Sancho will also benefit from just out and out. Jadon, you're playing on the left wing. You're a left winger now, right? You're going to be cutting inside. Done. You're not going to be skipping for the overlap and firing the cross in. You're cutting inside, because Anthony's out on the right wing, and Anthony will start on that right wing. It's going to be, oh man, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really, really, really am looking forward to it. Gungshi, how you say? What are you saying down there, sir? You're saying, I have a feeling we'll come away with at least a point against City. Ten Hag's system is beginning to gel with this group of players, and their confidence is growing. I can't wait for Sunday. I really, really can't wait for it either. I'm not, as I said, the expectation going into this game is that we won't come away with a result. That's years of pessimism going into big games like this against Liverpool and City. And it's also a bit of a reality of where City are and where United are trying to get towards. But at the same time, we've won 4 in our last 4 in the Premier League. We've beaten Liverpool and table-topping Arsenal to do that. We've got a new look to our team. We've got a captain without the armband in Lisandro Martinez. This is a different look United team. It feels different. Now, it may all be the same on Sunday. We may end up rolling over and getting our bellies rubbed and losing 3-0 against City. And I hope that's not the case. But I don't think it will be the case. I think it's if we look, it's a weird thing to say because a loss is still a loss, but you can lose in the right way and you can lose in the wrong way, which is, that sentence is fucking wrong, but you know exactly what I'm getting at. You can get absolutely steamrolled 4-0 and 5-0 by Liverpool against your bitter rivals and not even for 1 second be in the game and just get humiliated. Or you can try and go into the game, go toe to toe, battle, fight. And if you come out on the wrong side of that, you can walk away and say, you know what? We've given 100% to this game. And I think no matter what the result will be on Sunday, I think we'll be able to say that United did everything they possibly could on Sunday. That's what I think so anyway. Denrig is saying, look, is Martial fit? We don't know whether he's fit or not, and I imagine we won't know until Friday. Erik ten Hag would, of course, give his pre-match press conference. I'll do my predicted 11 on Thursday. I don't know why I said 11. My predicted 11 on Thursday. But look, Gungshu, you're saying, look, if we lose, I hope it's just a real battle against them. Look, okay, I'll ask you now quickly in the comments. I don't think I will. Actually, no, I will because I put it in the title. We'll have a little conversation here about Bellingham, and then I want you to let me know your predictions for the derby in the comments. Joseph, you're saying the main difference is this year is that we have new. Yeah, you're right, man. You can point towards Martinez. You can point towards Varane. You can point towards Christian Eriksen. You can point towards Bruno. So, therefore, I would argue leaders that we're seeing really emerge in this team for sure. No, that's probably what McTominay. You can probably put McTominay. I don't think he's too much of a leader. But this is what Laurie Whitwell said about Jude Bellingham yesterday. So look, it says United are expected to try again next summer to sign him, but Liverpool are currently seen as the front runners. I don't know who's going to get Jude Bellingham, right? I spoke about him a few weeks ago before, I think, the first international game. No, it was before Dortmund's Champions League game against City where he scored. And I said, look, got to have a conversation about Jude Bellingham. We really, really do. He scored there and he had a fantastic international break. And his stock is only going up and up and up and up. And there won't be an elite team in world football that wouldn't want Jude Bellingham this summer. Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Manchester United, City, Liverpool, every single one of them is going to want Jude Bellingham. I don't personally think United will win that transfer because it's going to be an absolute free for all. It's going to be Dortmund don't need to do a thing. Dortmund don't need to put a price on him, really. They can just sit and just allow the bidding war to sort of happen in front of them. And I don't think United win a bidding war with Bellingham, in my opinion. I just don't think we'll have that, mate. I know that our finances were bad this year. But as we said in the podcast in 1958, like if you thought they were bad this year, you wait until next year. You wait until the accounts come from this season, and we see how much of our signings were financed by massive sort of credit revolving facilities that were activated because it wasn't money from the club because we didn't have the cash didn't go down. It wasn't money from the Glazers because they don't put any of their own money in. And you're saying, look, Bellingham's amazing, but where does he fit and what does he cost? He's a final piece. I wouldn't say Bellingham's a final piece. I would disagree with that comment. But in terms of where he would fit, it's quite obvious. Where he would fit, it would just be a midfield three then of Bellingham, Eriksen, and Bruno. And you wouldn't have that. You would have Eriksen operating as a deeper playmaker, but man, that is, oh my God, Bellingham, Eriksen, and Bruno. But yeah, I think he would cost too much for what Man United need. And the priority of next summer is absolutely a striker. And typically, strikers are the most expensive positions to sign players. Well, they should be, because they're the goal scorers. They're the match winners. But in the way that football has changed now, Robert, yeah, you're completely right there. You're saying, look, I think we need a striker ahead of him. I completely agree. This makes me feel sick how good that is and how probably likely it is to happen. Camavinga coming in to replace Kroos. Tchouaméni coming in to replace Casemiro. And Bellingham coming in to replace Modric. It's like Real Madrid, man. Leave something for someone else, you bastards. Daisy, you know what I think about Christopher Nkunku? Absolutely. 65 million euros. We know his price. We know his price. We can't be pissed off if we don't sign him. I really, really would be. But look, last couple of minutes of the show, as I try and do when I remember, I switch it to members only. Boom. And there's been an absolute donation city here today. Gungshi, you've sent some in. Alex, you've sent some in. I apologize for anybody. I can't remember the top of my head. Anybody else who sent some in? Anybody got any questions for the last minute or two? You fire them in now, and I'll try and answer them. Mate, that goal last night from Sesko was filthy, like proper Van Basten, wasn't it? Ball over the top, over the shoulder, left-footed volley, rifled into the side netting on the other side. My God, it's insane. It was such a good goal. What a player. It frustrates me that we weren't able to sign him. But I understand what Red Bull did. They kept him, went from Red Bull Salzburg to Red Bull Leipzig. Yeah, Leipzig have already, in their eyes, replaced Nkunku. They've got Sesko coming in next summer, and they know that they're losing Nkunku. That's a perfect transition that they've already planned. Who's our striker on Sunday, says Stefan. Rashford or Ronaldo? It should be Rashford. Ronaldo. No agenda against Ronaldo, man, but he is... It's really, really, really obvious that Ronaldo didn't have a preseason. That's what I think. I still don't think he's had a preseason. I still think he's short of the fitness he would have had if he was part of that full preseason. Debbie, I didn't get a game. Oh, sorry, I didn't get a ticket in the ballot. I couldn't apply because I paused my season ticket last year. United wouldn't allow me to apply for away tickets this year until I think the Aston Villa game in the EFL Cup was announced. So when I purchased one of those tickets, I was allowed to apply. But I am going to Cyprus next week. I'm looking forward to that. Lewis will get that update on Friday from Erik Ten Hag. What we were saying down here in the comments. What do you think of starting both Casemiro and McTominay? I mean, it's a possibility, but that will be a very restrictive thing to do because then you're dropping one of either Eriksen or Bruno. And I don't think you win this game if you don't have Eriksen and Bruno on the pitch together. Ross, you're saying, what's my front three for Sunday? My front three would probably be Sancho, Rashford, and Anthony, but I have to think about it a little bit more before the 11 video goes out tomorrow. When was the last time you saw such good pairing at the back at United? I mean, a long ass time, Mickey. A long ass time. I don't know. It might be Rio and Vidic, but there might be a pairing that I'm forgetting about in between. But it's just been a long old time. Long old time. Do you think Ronaldo's trying too hard, and not just enjoying football, but hang up on record? No, not particularly. I just think Rashford. I think Ronaldo is just struggling with the fact that he's realizing he's just a normal human being. I think that's what's happening. His body is finally giving up on him. His mentality is completely and utterly fierce and burning as bright as ever. But finally, his legs are like, yeah, nah, not quite there yet. And I think that's the case. Hash, you're saying, what do you think about Luke Shaw playing this Sunday? I think that is a possibility. I think that's a possibility. But Malassi has delivered against Liverpool and delivered against Arsenal. So let's have a look here. FP saying, look, it's sad to see, mate. It is. It genuinely is sad to see Ronaldo like this. But we're seeing Ronaldo like this. And this is no agenda. I found that so weird in the summer, having to defend myself against Ronaldo fanboys. I never sort of got in the face of it before. It was fucking weird. It was odd. It was really, really odd. But he is right now. He's a shadow of himself. I think he's going to be. Ronaldo should be coming on for the last 25 minutes against City, roughly thereabouts. And I think he can have a big, big impact into the game in that sense. But he can't do it from the first whistle anymore. He cannot do it. Your Ronaldo comments are going to bite you in the back. He still has it. Look. Nothing. But I want him to be banging in goals for United, Nige. I want him to be. I backed him to be our top goal scorer this season. Hasn't had a sniff yet. I hope he does, man. I hope he crushes it. Just don't think he will. But look, right. Let's wrap up for today. Nice long show today. Thank you everyone who generously gave to the community, bringing in some gifted memberships. Anybody else who's just joined as a member, go to the YouTube community tab and click the link up there. There's a special link that I can't share on here for obvious reasons. And that brings you into the members only chat. And the only way you can see it is by going to the YouTube community tab. So there's so many members who I know haven't clicked that link yet. So come on in. Come on in. But look, thank you very much, everyone, for joining in today. I'm going to do my Martinez Haaland video. That's going to be going out at lunchtime. So looking forward to that one. Tomorrow, the City start at 11. Friday, hopefully, a little tactical look at Guardiola and Ten Hag. Football's back. And it's City. It's a big one. Take it easy, everyone.